All right, Spacers, welcome. If you're venturing into the Arcadia system, you're going to have to make some tough calls. And some of those calls, they change everything. So today, we're breaking down the most critical decisions you'll face in the Outer Worlds 2, so you can build out your perfect run.
And I'm not talking about minor dialogue tweaks here. We're talking choices that reshape entire towns, permanently lock in your companion's abilities, and decide who's standing beside you when the credits roll. So let's get right into it and figure out which path is the right one for you.
First up, we're off to Paradise Island. And trust me, the name is a bit generous. It's got that glittering corporate shine on the surface, but underneath it's a total mess. And right in the city of Fairfield, you get thrown headfirst into a political firestorm that's going to follow you across the whole planet.
So you're hunting a saboteur, right? And you run into the two people pulling all the strings, Minister Milverstreet, the smooth-talking diplomat, and Acquisitions Officer Kaur, who is, well, she's all business. And here's the kicker. You have to pick one. And once you do, the other path is locked off for good. No takebacks.
So what's the difference, really? Milverstreet is all about shady deals, backroom politics, and playing the long game. Kaur, on the other hand, she solves her problems with a shotgun. So let's break down what you actually get from each of them, because the rewards are wildly different.
If you're running a smooth talker build, Milverstreet's your guy. His path has more meat on its bones. You get an extra quest, a pretty slick hat, and this is the big one, it's the only way to unlock a potential new companion down the line. The trade-off? You'll be waiting a bit longer to get key info for the main story.
But hey, maybe you're not here to talk. Siding with Kaur is the express lane to action. She cuts right to the chase, gives you that critical intel about the Vox relay station immediately, and hooks you up with some serious hardware. Heavy armor and a beast of a shotgun. Perfect if you're built for close quarters chaos.
So, the bottom line is this. Pick Milverstreet for a deeper story, an extra crew member, and some nice tactical gear. Pick Kaur if you just want to get to the fighting and grab some killer offensive loot right now.
Okay, now let's talk about your crew. Because your choices don't just affect the world, they permanently change the people traveling with you. Your companion Inez needs a new part for her biological implant, and what you pick will define her combat role for the rest of the game.
To get what you need, you have to go hunting. And not just for any little critter. We're talking about one of two enormous, very angry native creatures. Your choice of prey determines the upgrade. A crabble claw for pure offense, or a rapiton fin for tactical support.
This one really comes down to your playstyle. Do you want Inez to be a walking piece of artillery, softening up enemies from afar, or do you want her to be a battlefield medic, the one who pulls your team out of the fire when a fight gets messy?
If you go for the crabble claw, Inez becomes an offensive powerhouse. She starts blasting plasma projectiles that absolutely melt enemy armor and stack up burn damage. And after an upgrade, she'll leave pools of molten plasma on the ground. It's fantastic for crowd control and taking down those really tanky enemies. But the Raptidon fin, man, this is a total game changer for survival. It gives Inez the power to go invisible, which is cool, but the real prize is that she can heal you in the middle of a firefight. That is a huge advantage. Upgrade it and she can create a healing cloud for the whole squad. It can absolutely turn the tide of a losing battle.
Look, the plasma cannon is awesome, no doubt about it, but the sheer utility of the Raptidon fin is just too good to pass up. Having a dedicated healer on your team can be the difference between winning a fight and staring at a loading screen. For most playthroughs, especially on higher difficulties, the fin is the smarter, more versatile choice.
All right, remember that big Vox relay station we talked about earlier? Well, you get to decide where it lands. And by lands, I mean you get to pick which town you want to crash it into. No pressure or anything.
Now, you don't get any gear for this one. This choice is purely strategic and moral. You have to bring the station down. Where it falls will send massive political shockwaves across the region, and it's going to decide who thinks you're a hero and who thinks you're a monster.
Smash it into Fairfield and you'll devastate part of the city, but you'll become a legend to all the anti-corporate factions. Aim for Westport instead, and you'll land a huge blow against the military, which will earn you major points with the local rebel groups. This is all about picking your allies and picking your enemies.
And now for a good old-fashioned corporate whodunit. There's been a bombing over at the Xeranium manufactory, and you get called in to find the culprit. You're going to want to pay close attention here, because this choice has some heavy moral and story consequences.
You're given two main suspects, the junior initiate, Alva, and her boss, Proctor Svoboda. The evidence is a mess, the corporate spin is in full effect, and you've got to decide who you believe before the situation gets explosive.
And when you start digging through the evidence, things get real murky. The official report points straight at Alva. It says she took control of the systems. But then you look closer. The records seem doctored. Plus, she doesn't even have the security clearance to pull something like this off. It all smells like a classic corporate frame-up.
If you trust your gut and decide to back Alva, you nail it. The whole conspiracy comes spilling out, Svoboda is dealt with, and you get Alva, whose real name is Marisol, as a new permanent companion. This path gets you the truth, a new ally, and the full story.
But if you fall for the official story and accuse Alva, oh, it's bad. You get manipulated into a tough fight against someone who's innocent. You completely miss out on recruiting a new companion, and the game eventually confirms you made the wrong call, leaving you with the lovely knowledge that you helped the real villain get away clean.
So unless you're role-playing a character who's just super gullible, siding with Alva is 100% the way to go. You get more content, a fantastic new crewmate, and the satisfaction of actually delivering some justice in a system that desperately needs it.
And when you step back, you can see how it all connects. Your first political gamble with Milverstreet or Kaur, the way you customize Inez for battle, getting to the bottom of the bombing, every single choice helps define who your character is. Are you a tactical diplomat or a guns-blazing hero? The choice is always yours.
In the end, The Outer Worlds 2 is a story that's woven from your decisions. Every thread matters, and it creates a journey that is uniquely yours. So choose wisely out there.